Hello, welcome back to my Flosstube channel. My name is Phoebe. This channel is called Moonshine Stitchery because my last name is Moon. My nail polish brand is actually called Moonshine Mani. So this channel where I just engage with you guys in the Flosstube community, I decided to call Moonshine Stitchery. So I hope you've been having a great couple of stitchy weeks. I certainly have. I've been fully enjoying the back to school sale, and I've been stitching 2 threads a day on that project that I shared with you guys in my last video every single day. And so I've been getting some great progress, for me at least. So I do have a number of whips to share with you. I have 2 new starts that I'm going to talk about. I actually made a project bag a few days ago, and I have a bunch of fabric to make some more fall project bags, but I am kind of intimidated by how difficult it was for me. It was probably the most frustrated I've gotten in a very, very long time was making that project bag. Definitely the hardest sewing project I've ever done. It's probably all because of the zipper, but still, it was hard. And now I know if I just do it over and over again, it'll get easier and I won't be as flustered and frustrated. But I'm a very stubborn person. So even though I picked that sucker out like 10 times at least, I was bound and determined to finish that bag. So it's not great, but it did get finished. So I'll share that with you coming up later. So my starts, my whips, I don't have any, well, I have a kind of finish because I finished my square on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Finally, I was super inspired by, her channel's name is iGoodIdea. I always want to say iGoodIdea. I love her channel. I will talk to you some more about channels in just a minute, and I'll link all the channels down below that I'm mentioning. I was super inspired by how much progress she recently got on hers, and I was like, I can knock out that not final square. It's my first square on Halloween at Hawk Run Hall. I can knock it out. I know I can do it. So basically, I just had a whole bunch of water to fill in, so I did. So it's kind of a finish. Not really, though, because, you know, I have 11 squares to go. So, starts, whips, and I have a tiny bit of haul, and then we'll talk about plans. So that's kind of the order we're going to go in. But before we get into my starts and whips, I want to talk about a few new to me Flosstube channels. So if you are new to Flosstube, one great way to engage with the other members of this community is through posting what you're doing here on Flosstube, because other people can see what projects you're doing. You can see that you're doing something similar to somebody else, and it encourages you to work on that project when you see the progress that they're getting on theirs. And there's lots of inspiration for new things that you might want to start, new threads you might want to do, new fabrics, and it's just so much fun. It's a great way to find out about sales. Instagram is really great for all these things as well. But Flosstube is so fun because it's so personal and you're just talking to each other like a friend. And that's how it feels when I'm watching Flosstube. And so I found a few new channels in the last couple weeks that I want to share. So the first one, that's the most recent one actually, is Stitching in My Pajamas. I watched her Flosstube number 2, so I need to go back and watch number 1. But I heard about this channel from a few other Flosstubes, and I subscribed and then just like forgot to watch an episode. And I caught one this morning, and I learned she actually works for Gloriana, which is very cool. She's mainly samplers on her channel, beautiful work, but she also shares a lot of other aspects of samplers that aren't her personal projects, but like things that she owns and different things that people have given her. So really beautiful video. So highly recommend that. I found the channel Needleberry Stitcher. This was just in my recommended. I didn't hear anybody recommend this to me. If I did, I missed it and I didn't like go subscribe instantly. And sometimes when I do that, like as you're listening to me now, like let's say I'm sitting here watching your Flosstube. If you're talking about another Flosstube, I'll swipe down on my phone, go up to the search bar, search it, and then subscribe to it right away. So then I remember to go watch a video from them. Or you can like start a video from them so it shows up in your history. So then when you go back to my video and you're all done, those videos will show up in your history and then you can remember to watch them. I don't always remember to do that, but I like to do that because then I don't have to write stuff down and it'll just already be there for me. But anyway, my recommended often sends me great ideas as well. So Needleberry Stitcher, she has so many beautiful projects that she's working on. And that was episode number 27. So I have a lot of things that, a lot of past videos from her that I could watch. Another channel that I found, and this was just based off of a YouTube recommend as well, because it's her first Flosstube, and it's an introduction to Whip Parade, and her channel name is Uplift Stitches. And I love that idea for a channel name because that's how I feel when I watch your videos. I feel uplifted and excited about my craft. And so her channel, I definitely recommend. It's a great Whip Parade. She has some different kind of things that she's stitching on. She's a gamer, and I think she said she loves D&D. So some different interests, maybe if you are kind of wanting to branch out in some other interests that maybe you don't hear about very often. I felt her channel was just delightful, and it was very uplifting, just as her channel name suggests. So I mentioned before that I caught up with iGoodia Stitcher. Her Flosstube number 11, it says the one with 3 whips. That's the one that I was watching, and I just really enjoy her. I love her energy and her love for the craft and things that she's working on. It's just super enjoyable for me. And I think those were all the new to me channels in the last 2 weeks. If there's a channel that you've been loving lately, leave it in the comment section below so that I can go check it out. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my starts and whips. So I'm kind of just wanting to start like a whole bunch of stuff lately because of projects that I've been seeing people stitching on Flosstube. But I just chose 2. And so let's go ahead and look at those, and then I'll share with you the other works in progress that I had this last couple weeks. My first new start is this project. It's called Golden Delicious from the Artsy Housewife. I will put up the full project up here so you can see what it's gonna look like, but I tackled the top left hand corner. I'm stitching this with some flosses that I chose for the project. I'm learning that I really love to just do my own conversion of flosses. Sometimes I brighten things up a little bit. Sometimes I add more variegation when there's not any, and it just makes it more personalized to me, and it makes it really, really fun. So I'm stitching this on this piece of kind of murky mauve-y purple. It has a lot of modeling with like a dark denim in there, and it's really nice. I got the idea because on her Instagram she has this pattern also stitched in like on a purple fabric, I think, and it has a slightly different colorway. And it's just gorgeous. So I'm doing it, it's more of like a rose purple hybrid, rose tan purple. So I'm also stitching this with my own conversion of flosses. It does have some things that I've dyed myself, some cotton things I've dyed myself, and then for the 2 yellows, I just didn't have on hand anything that I wanted to use for this pattern, like was the right color. So I just took 2 skeins of MPI 991 and made 2 yellows for this project. There's also some Gentle Arts and Classic Colorworks, like Storm Clouds is going to be the darker green in here. I also have Corn Husk from Gentle Arts. I have Chives. So if you want a full list of the flosses that I'm using, just let me know. But I'm also using this Threadworks, and it is just making, whenever I pop a highly variegated Threadworks into a pattern, it's making it so much fun. So I'm a huge Threadworks fan now. So this is a piece of 40 count. I'm stitching it 1 strand over 2, and I stitched on this for probably 2 or 3 days. And I just really didn't want to put it down. It's so fun. So if you're on the fence about whether you want to start one of Gigi's projects, I highly recommend it, and I really like this one. Here is my second start. This one's a little start. I just stitched on this for 1 day, yesterday actually. This is Barbara Anna Designs All Creatures Great and Small. And I was heavily influenced by the most recent Lori Holt Flosstube video. If you haven't watched it yet, do yourself a favor and go watch it. Firstly, the artistic quality of her projects is so inspiring and it's so beautiful. If you enjoy looking at art, I loved her video and I know you'll love it. Secondly, her taste is so wonderful that I always find myself wanting to start absolutely everything that she is stitching on. So she had a couple of big finishes, I believe, in that video. I should watch it again, actually. And one of them was this project. And I've had this one kitted up for a while and just had never started it. And finally, it was like one more push, one more person that had stitched this lovely design that really pushed me over the edge. So I'm stitching this on a piece of 40 count blue fabric that I hand dyed myself. And it's just really lovely, kind of slightly stormy blue. I love stitching on blue fabric. It's probably my favorite. And it's just an adorable design, and there's just so much to stitch in here. It reminds me of the recent Teresa Kogut Sal that my friend Heidi, Whips and Kits, is stitching. And because there's just all these cute little motifs, it reminds me of Consider the Lilies as well in that way. So I just got going here. Oh, I have the called for anchor flosses for this. Here they are. And so they're a little fluffier, I feel like, just slightly fluffier than DMC, and they are slightly coarser than DMC, but they are just as vibrant and beautiful, and I'm really excited to finally get stitching with these. I've had this kitted up for a while. So I'm doing one strand over 2 linen threads, and this whole little guy, okay, no, wait, he's not complete, never mind. The flower is missing a little stitch right there, and then the leaf. I was gonna say, woohoo, I did one motif. Not quite, but I did get some of the border in, and starting on these little, what are they, strawberries, blossoms, and leaves. So anyway, I just know I'm gonna love this. I'm so glad that I finally started it. Sometimes I think to myself, why am I starting so many things? I'm never gonna finish anything. But yeah, if you don't start it, you'll never finish it. Plus, if it's sitting there already kitted up with the fabric, like, you might as well start it because you will get that enjoyment out of it. So I am loving it so far, so I've put it into my whip list, and hopefully it will come out again soon. And I think that's everything you need to know about this one. You can purchase, I love that you can purchase the Barbara Anna designs as PDF downloads on creativepoppy.com. It makes it so nice and easy. So, yep, I think that's it for that one. All right, so now we're on to my regular whips, not new starts. And so you've seen all of these projects before at some point on my channel. This next project is Dutch Steps of Life by Gigi, and it's stitched on a pretty wackadoodle fabric for this gorgeous reproduction sampler. But sometimes you just gotta mix it up. So I'm stitching this on a piece of 40 count. It's over dyed by me. It is kind of swampy greens, all kind of variations of greens in here. And I was having so much fun working on the brickwork this time. This was one of the projects that I drew with you guys last week for me to stitch on this week. So I think that's probably about all that I did. I might have done this, but mostly I think I just worked on this part in here. So that is GGR Dutch Steps of Life. It is a booklet that it has 2 patterns. So one from Needlework Press and then one from GGR. And the thing about GGR designs is she shows the actual, like, the original reproduction piece. And so you never really know exactly how it's going to turn out, I think, until you're stitching it, because that's so much more visible than this. And so you can miss, like, a lot of little things in there, and then you start stitching it and you're like, oh, that's what that is. So it's pretty fun. I'm stitching this with my own flosses. It's about half flosses that I dyed, and half, there's a Leo and Roxy, there's a Gentle Arts, and there's a Classic Colorworks and a Week. So a little bit of everything. There's one Forbidden Fiber Co. And yeah, I'm having super lots of fun, but I think I only did spend one day on this one. So why don't I go ahead and show you how I'm coming along with my Back to School Sal project. This is Ann Dale from Shakespeare's Peddler. And this is the one that I chose to start on September 1st for the Back to School Sal. If you want to learn more about that, it was started by Lauren, the New Hampshire Stitcher. If you want to go check out her Instagram. So basically I just chose a really huge project to start on September 1st. And I'm stitching this project with the called for MPIs. There's also a few Glorianas in there and some Belsois, Classic Colors Belsois. So I'm also stitching this on a piece of mint green fabric, 40 count, that I over dyed. And if you want to see someone who's made a lot more progress on this, like if this pattern appeals to you, it is incredible because it has all these floral motifs, and there's like a ton of them, and I don't think very many of them repeat. And there's also like a lot of empty space, so it's going to be huge, but there's still a lot of stitching in here. Also, the borders are so nice. If you want to see someone who's stitched a lot more on this, go check out Narissa's Stitching World. I call her Queen Narissa because she's amazing and has stitched so many wonderful things. She's so inspiring and encouraging. And I also want to stitch everything she's stitching on. So go check out her channel because she has a massive amount done on this. So anyway, you can get this from Shakespeare's Peddler Kitten Stitcher. And I'm doing 1/2 on this 40 count. And like I mentioned earlier, I decided to do 2 threads a day on this project. I was inspired by Sarah's Stitchy Spot. If you're not following her Flosstube, you should be. It's very inspiring and a wonderful place to hang out. And she picks a project and stitches on it 2 strands a day. Usually I think till it's done. And I'm not gonna keep stitching on this till it's done because it's just too massive, so I'll probably change it up in October. But for September, I've been putting 2 a day, and look at how much progress I've done. I barely had anything done last time I showed you. I think it was just like this much or something like that. So I'm making great progress and loving it. So thank you, Sarah, for telling us about that technique. This bottom border actually goes over a little bit more. So anyway, there, I pulled in a little bit more so you can see these cute flowers. This little guy's gonna get finished up tomorrow. So, and then here's the top bordering. I do have to let you know that this strawberry border in here in between there is not consistently the same counting. So you have to watch out for that. Like, see how this strawberry goes almost up to the edge of this line and this side does not? But then over here, it's more centered. And it's more centered here. But for some reason, it's not on that one. So you just have to watch out. So anyway, that's my Ann Dale, and that's my 2 threads a day. Oh, also on my nails today, I'm wearing just 1 coat of a new polish that we created on my Phoebe Moon channel, which is a nail polish channel. And I have live episodes there on Saturdays, and we make polish together once a month, and this is one of the polishes we created. Our theme was Little Shop of Horrors, so this is called Leader of the Plaque, and that's what's on my nails today. You can find it available on my website, which is moonshinemani.com. The other project that I drew randomly with you guys in my last video was Vanity Sampler from Hello from Liz Matthews. And I am doing a conversion inspired by a conversion that Cam the Stitcher is doing on YouTube, and she is very kindly sharing her conversion if you go to Instagram and ask her for it. Basically, it's changing up greens for kind of moody gray, turquoise, and purples. And I say inspired by because I've done my own conversion for it, inspired by the DMCs that she chose. And sometimes I'm pulling different colors just because I wanted to put that color in. So here's the color palette, and it's just so nice, the colors that she chose for this project. It's really exciting. So this is a restart. If this feels familiar to you, it's because I started this originally on a piece of highly modeled fabric. I think it was from Be Stitch Me, and it just was it was competing too much with these beautiful colors, and I couldn't see these really lovely colors that Cam chose. So I restarted this on a piece that is much more sampler-esque. It has some soft, very soft gray modeling in this kind of more like platinum shade from Zweigart. So anyway, this is where I got to in that either day or two that I was working on this, and it's just so cute. So I put up on the screen here the full design so you could see what it's gonna look like eventually, and I love how everything's playing together, and I'm just super pleased. So I'm so glad this got drawn so that I could restart this beautiful project. So this is 40 count, so I'm stitching 1/2. Speaking of Hello from Liz Matthews, I also pulled out Autumn Cloche. I was inspired by someone I was watching on Flosstube that was stitching this, and it's autumn, so I want to be stitching all my fall projects. And this is just a really beautiful project that Liz released last year, and I'm stitching this with the called for MPIs. So here's the MPIs, and I think I'm stitching this on just plain Zweigart flax, I think. Yes, it's flax, and I'm doing 1/2 because it is 40 count. And yeah, I moved down here and got into this big pumpkin down here, and then this flower, and it's just a really lovely piece to stitch on. It just looks beautiful when it's done. So yeah, that was one of my whips this week. I think I only stitched on this again for just one day. I pulled out Jack's Bash from Plumstreet Samplers again in the last 2 weeks and put in some more work on this. So I think, did I have the alphabet in last time? I'm not sure, but I definitely did fill out the rest of this border there, and then put in these 2 houses and the gravestones. And it's really shaping up, and I really, really love it. It's only going to be this wide, so that's going to be great. I feel like this is my like Western piece of fabric. I tried to make this similar to the called for, so it is very like ruddy browns in here and really, really nice. It's a great contrast with these dark blacks and grays, so it's super awesome. Again, this is my own conversion, and it includes some thread works like this floss that has this beautiful variegation here is the thread works. And then this one that is filling in the inside of this flower, that's all one shade of thread work. So like I said, huge fan. This is a piece of fabric that I over dyed myself, but I was inspired to start this by Katie So Tattered and Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. They're both stitching this. They have a sale going on, and I love Plumstreet, and that was a great excuse for me to start this pattern, and I really, really love it. So it's 40 count, so it's 1/2, and I hope this comes out again before we next meet. The final whip that I'm going to share with you is this kind of mini finish. I finally got this block done from Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow from Carriage House, and I'm so happy to finally have this one done. This one is one of the basically full coverage blocks, except for this right here underneath the writing is not, but everything else in here is filled in. There's some French knots down here, no back stitching. I think that I'm going to come up into the portion that goes right above this next. This is stitched again on plain flax from Zweigart, and it's 40 count, so I'm doing 1 strand over 2, which is my preference by far. And I finally have this done. You guys have been seeing me talk about this basically since the conception of my channel, and it only took forever. It only took 1.5 years. But yeah, I'm really, really happy. So I think I'm going to move up here because that's what, Igodia, her channel, when she showed that she had, I think these 2, and this one looks really cool up here. So I think I'll just move straight up and do this one next. So really excited about that. I'm stitching this with the called for DMC list, and it's just really, really fun, and it's very excited to move on to the next square. Okay, I mentioned that I stitched a project bag this week, and it is a hot mess, but as I tell my kids, You can't expect to be great at something the first time you try it. So I did not expect that I would be wonderful at this. I didn't think that I would be as bad as I was. Look at that zipper. I mean, that's a hot mess, but I want to share with you my experience. Basically, okay, so I followed the tutorial from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, which is a lovely tutorial. This bag that I made has like 5 different prints. Oh, also, that even though I ripped this bag out 100 times, I still didn't get the inside lining facing the right way, which was such a disappointment when I flipped this over, because this was one of my favorite pieces of the that I chose, and this is facing, so I definitely still did it wrong even after watching that video like 100 times, and just my brain was screaming at not being able to figure out the way I was supposed to face the pieces of fabric. It's almost like the fact that it was like too many pieces of fabric for my brain. This is all fully lined in here, so I had to get the lining right, and it's not quilted or anything like that, but oh my goodness. And then I couldn't find my zipper foot. So that was making a huge problem for me, because I wasn't able to put the, I wasn't able to stitch as close to the zipper as I should be able to. And the zippers that I ordered a pack of zippers off Amazon, and they said that they were 14 inches, but they were a little bit too long for the dimensions of cuts that she has listed on that. So I think I at least got the zipper in functioning, but like basically the zipper wasn't long, it was too long. So I had to bunch it up in order for the bag to close. So it was a giant pain in the butt. Like I mentioned, I have a bunch more fabric so I can try making more bags. And I will try it because I'm very stubborn. But if you had trouble with a project bag tutorial, you are not alone, my friend. I tried it and I made a mess of it, but I'm learning, and next time we'll be sure to be better. All right, so those were my starts and my whips and my little tiny mini finish, my pseudo finish. Next, I'm going to share with you a little bit of haul, just a little bit, and then when we get done with that, I'm going to share with you some stuff that I've kitted up that I really want to start, but I don't know, guys. I have so many projects that I want to stitch on. It's so hard. Nobody understands what I'm talking about, right? So as for my haul, I am fully obsessed with Pansy Patch, so I picked up the first house in the Wisteria House series, and I don't have any immediate plans to stitch that, but it's so cute. And then I have the Halloween basket, so I don't know, maybe I should start this soon. That's stitched on Murky and it looks really nice like that, but I'll see if I can dye a piece like Murky. I did, in this order from 123, grab a piece of platinum from Zweigart so I could give it a go. And then I picked up this. I forget who I saw this on. It might have been So Tattered. I saw this on somebody's channel and it is so beautiful. So it's from Lucy Beam, Love and Stitches, Mary Norrie, 1859. And look at the totally non-repeating design. It's so pretty. So really, really love that. And then the last thing is this one, because it came up when I was Googling Mary Norrie. And this is Ellen Norris from GGR. And again, non-symmetrical. So love it, love it, love it. And that is my haul. So I mentioned a few kit ups of things that I want to start right away. I think it was Brenda Holzman on Instagram. I'm going to look it up to tell you for sure that I saw her working on this, and I saw the lady with the big bell skirt, and it just floored me, and I had to go search that out and find it. So this is Dutch Beauty, and it is huge. I could have picked this for my back to school, or my, definitely go follow Brenda Holzman, by the way, on Instagram. But I definitely could have picked this because it's going to be absolutely giant. So I had to get a fat half and dye it. And it has some kind of deep teal modeling on there. And then it has my own conversion of flosses to go with it. And I'm very, very excited. So this is on my I want to start sooner than later. Of course, I have a Threadworks in there. And I'm really, really into this piece. So talk about a beautiful, huge sampler. This one is symmetrical in a lot of the parts. Not all. Does have a really creepy deer right in the middle. So that's always good. Anyway, so that's one of my kit ups. The next thing that I kitted up that I want to start soon is A Savior's Praise by Shakespeare's Peddler. I saw Lori Holt finish this, and as I said before, everything she showed in that video I want to stitch. Here are my flosses. I've already got ready to go for this, and this is just beautiful and huge. Here's my Threadworks. So very, very excited. Basically this is my heads up. This is my heads up. I might be starting these things soon. Look at this one from, I keep kitting stuff up with this and not using it yet, and I really need to. It's so beautiful, the teals and the browns. And then this one from JU Design, Ruby Red. Oh, so pretty. So this project will probably be the first out of all of these ones I'm showing you right now that I start. Look at these colors. I'm just dying. That is fall right there in the color palette. This is set up for Toil and Trouble by Plumstreet Samplers. This is a piece of fabric that I dyed. As you can see, it has some purples. I think this was kind of like my stab at a murky, and this isn't going to be too, it's a bluish purple version of murky, I think, and this isn't gonna be a super huge pattern, I think, design. So I could also put that Betsy's Halloween basket on this one. That would work out. So anyway, I'm just obsessed with these colors. This conversion is one that I did based on the DMC list. As you can see, it's a whole hodgepodge of stuff like I always do. There's some flosses that I've dyed. Gentle Arts, Weeks. I love this one, this Lichen. It's so pretty. Harvest Moon. Chick and Duck. Forbidden Fiber Co. They had a Friends theme. As you can tell, I like Friends. They had a Friends theme set, so I just love every single one of these colors. So this will probably be the next thing that I start. And oh, there's even a Vicky Clayton silk in here. So yes, I am obsessed. So this kit up you've actually seen before, but not matched with its fabric. So I dyed the fabric this last week for this. So this is for a peacock, a unicorn, a badger from Scarlet Letter. And these are all the DMCs pulled for it, which are glorious and are gonna look great against this green. So I'm planning to not stitch the background and have the fabric work as the background. And so you've seen this pull of floss before. Everybody I feel like is stitching on this and is making great progress. And now I have my fabric set up for it, so I am good to go. All right, so that's my haul and my kit ups. Next we're gonna talk about plans. So for plans, I did mention in the video previous to this one that on the 28th I'm gonna start a golden kit Sal with Cam the Stitcher is starting a project for her 28th birthday. It's her 28th birthday on the 28th, so it makes it her golden birthday. And so she thought, well, let me start like a golden project that I've just been holding on to, that I wanted to start, but it's like so beautiful, I don't want to start it. I don't know that I had anything that's like so beautiful I didn't want to start it, but I do have a lot of beautiful things kitted up. So I picked one, and I'm gonna start it with her on her birthday. It's a big project though. I've been starting a lot of big things. And also on Joy's birthday, I'm going to start the project that I'm putting those up here so you can see the pictures of them. That first one, Hannah Sanderson. And then the one that Joy picked, that I picked out of all my kits, her favorite one, is Blackberry House by Plumstreet Sampler. And so that's going to be on the 30th. And I also need to decide, so I did my 2 threads a day for every day of September on my Back to School Sal and Dale from Shakespeare's Peddler. And I think for October, so I don't get bored, because I love that project, but I know that I'm gonna get bored if I do like 2 threads a day till it's finished, for example. I know I can't do that. So I need to pick a different one, so I'm reinvigorated with this whole idea of 2 threads a day. So I need to decide what that's gonna be. It's probably gonna be a Halloween piece. So I'm gonna pick one of them and work on 2 threads a day for all of October. And yeah, so that's part of my plans. But also, we have the 25th stitching that you're gonna see in my next video. And so I'll stitch on something Christmassy on that day. There's no 31st in September, so no specific dark stitching on 31st. You'll see the 4th of July piece come out again in the next video. And then I'm also going to draw 2 random whips with you that you guys know I always do that at the end of my video. So let's go ahead and draw those projects. All right, so the last thing we're going to do is draw some projects. So here are my list of Mania projects, and I'm going to get out my randomizer and put the number 23 in there, because these are all of the projects I worked on for 2023 Mania. So here we go. Yep. Number 14, Halloween Quaker. That is perfect. I was actually thinking of making this my 2 threads a day. So I'll have to see if this is the Halloween one I want to make my 2 threads a day, or if something else, but you'll definitely see this one come out before the next video. Alright, so we drew a project from my Mania whips. Now these are all of my whips, so let's see which one I am to pick out. Deck the Coop. Ooh, 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 I love Deck the Coop. So that's a Stacy Nash, where Mrs. Claus is feeding the chickens, I think. And it's really cute, and it's small. So, perfect. I'm putting it up on the screen so you can see what it is. So you're going to definitely see Halloween Quaker and Deck the Coop before that. I'll have progress on those for the next video. Alright, we have reached the end of this video. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me for this, whatever this was, 45 minutes or so. I hope that you have some great stitchy time in the next 2 weeks, that it's not too busy, that you aren't able to pull out this soothing and stress relieving craft. And thanks for joining me today for this video. I hope you subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below of a channel that, if you haven't heard me mention it, or maybe you have, but just leave it down below. Let's share the love. Send me to somebody else's channel so I can enjoy their videos as well. Alright, that's going to be it for today. I will see you guys back in 2 weeks, and have a wonderful couple weeks till then. Okay, bye.